Welcome to our channel. My name is Grace Oldroyd and this is Our Oldroyd Life. I'm doing a series on our fertility journey, our 5-year struggle with infertility, and our IVF experience. So if you haven't already, I have a video that talks about the several years leading up to our IVF experience that will be in this playlist. And then this video will be all centered around prepping for our IVF. Fertility Center. We worked with the Pleasant Grove location. We enjoyed our experience there with them. You don't actually see the doctor very much. I think we saw the doctor like twice, which is, I guess, not surprising, but we worked with the nurses and the staff very regularly, and they print out this cute little calendar. We had our IVF coordinator that we worked with throughout the journey. So we went in for, after our consultation, basically, we had a financial consultation where we went over the financing of what everything's going to cost. And as I mentioned in a previous video, we had somebody who was donating to pay for our cost. But even then, just going through and looking at the cost of IVF, it's insane to me. So our whole our whole cost for IVF was a little over $20,000 for one round of IVF. So we did our financial consultation, and not only that, you have to pay to store your embryos if you're lucky to get embryos, and so there's an ongoing payment for that as well. So you can see here, this was our calendar, and I was scheduled to start my period like early March, and so once I got on my period, then they put me on birth control. I was on birth control for looks like 2 weeks. I am on day 4 of birth control, so I have to take birth control for a month before they'll do the egg retrieval cycle. And so I am on northern drone. I'll put that a link somewhere, but northern. And last time I went on birth control was, gosh, when I was 21, so like 13 years ago, and it was a horrible experience. Like, I just was all over the place mentally, emotionally. I didn't feel good, and I have never been on birth control since. And so I was really discouraged with the concept of having to go on birth control to be able to do IVF, because I'm like, doesn't that seem a little counterintuitive? Like, I'm trying to get pregnant, so they're going to put me on birth control. But I understand, it makes sense. You got to get all your hormone levels right and stuff. So day 4, it has been a challenge so far in terms of birth control. I started taking it on Friday. Today's Monday. And my mood is all over the place. I go from being extremely depressed to super productive and optimistic to just angry. So much anger just overwhelms me, and I'm like, I know that this is the birth control. I know that this is not really how I feel, but it's just like so all-consuming anger. And then I can laugh about it because I'm like, I know this is ridiculous, but in the moment it is so frustrating. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow to do a water ultrasound and see how things are progressing and how they're looking, and we'll go from there. But hopefully I can keep my act together. Yesterday, on March 14th, we had the water ultrasound to just check out the uterine lining and just see if there's anything to be concerned about. So we had that appointment, and they found 2 polyps inside my uterus that will need to be removed. It's called a hysteroscopy. So they're planning on doing that. It was a little bit devastating. Not devastating, I feel like a harsh word, but it's never really a good feeling to be in a doctor's office hoping that, all is well, for them to then provide some news that you weren't expecting. So that was a little disheartening, but our nurse practitioner was really wonderful and just explained everything really clearly. Just very relatable, very human. I really enjoyed having that. That was the first time I've actually had a female doctor
in all of our fertility experiences. And I have to say, I just felt more at ease, which I didn't think I would, because I didn't think I'd really care, honestly, because I've kind of just been like, you know what, males are doctors too, and they can be, you know, just because they don't have lady parts, like, doesn't mean they can't be good doctors or, you know, have good bedside manner and stuff. But there was a noticeable difference about my mood and my feelings having a female, she's just having a female nurse practitioner do the water ultrasound. So I really enjoyed that. It was an interesting experience, just because I felt more relaxed and at ease and comfortable. So, but so she said that they can do the hysteroscopy when they do my egg retrieval, which is nice. They said just is a little bit of a more, a little bit more of a recovery. So I don't really do well with anesthesia, so that makes me a little nervous. But I'm excited that it's not going to slow down our process at all. Sorry, it's windy. I'm out on a walk in the hills by my house, and I want to show you this because this has been so helpful for me. Is just spending time outside, moving my body has been really therapeutic for me, as I've been able to like process the emotions and the physical aspect of infertility and doing a cycle of IVF. So this is my sacred time, being outside. Good morning from Edmonton, Canada. I'm here for a work trip and got out on a run this morning, and it feels so good. The cool air, a new place to explore, and feeling pretty good about things today. Mood is optimistic and excited. It smells like poop right there. It's not me. Anyway, yeah, we're about a little over a week into the birth control, and I feel like I'm adjusting better. So feeling pretty good, but have a week in Edmonton to distract myself, and then we'll get ready for our egg retrieval.
They put both Andrew and I on a Z-Pack for antibiotics, and we did that for about 5 days. And then I went off of birth control on March 27th. So I started birth control March 6th, and then we did our Z-Pack, and then I went off of birth control on March 27th. And then we had to sign our consent form. I just want to take a minute and talk about the consent form, because never in my life have I sat down and had to read through various different scenarios of like what to do with your embryos if your husband dies, what to do with your embryos if you die, what to do with your embryos if both of you die, what to do with embryos that don't make it. Like, that is such a weird place to be in, of like, okay, so we have these embryos, what do we do with them? Do we donate them for science? Do we just discard them? Do we like store them forever and pay? Like, it's just a weird thing. And I just remember sitting down looking over the consent form, and like Andrew and I had different opinions on things, and so we had to sit there and have discussions around how and what and why and what do we do for us. And it's just, add that to the list of stuff. So then on March 31st, I had my baseline ultrasound appointment. This is where they do blood work, they check your uterus to make sure everything's looking good, there's no issues, and then you pay your money.
Where are we headed?
Drop your butt around the corner.
Basically. We're headed to our baseline ultrasound appointment.
Who are you going to show this video to?
Our children, so that they can know how much freaking crap we went through just to get them here.
When they're 14 and they're like,
I'm gonna be like,
I hate you! Would be
I'm
like,
like, watch
we
this.
wanted you so much.
Yeah.
That we spent every cent we had, and we went through all this crap. And Mom did shots.
Exactly. So today we'll find out if we can even do this thing starting tomorrow. So, meh.
Even Charlie's here.
It's a whole family affair. Here we go again.
I love you.
Just had our baseline appointment. Said everything looked good. So they did an ultrasound to make sure everything looked okay. They said the lining looked good. I have a cyst on my right ovary, but it's not secreting estrogen, which is gross, but it's not, so we're good. And then they did blood work where they're checking my estrogen levels and my thyroid, and we'll get a call later today to know if we can start with our egg retrieval cycle starting tomorrow. See how it goes. And Andrew got 2 suckers for being a good boy. And now we're going to Carl's Jr.
I got 2 suckers for paying $10,000.
It's true. It's true. But tomorrow's April Fool's, so hopefully there's no big fools coming our way.
Twins.
Oh shoot! Wait. They're both pink.
That's why I picked 2. That's watermelon. That's a boy flavor.
Watermelon's a boy flavor?
Yeah. When you compare it to strawberry or...
About mile 17 into an 18-mile race. And this is the last big exercise I'll be able to do before I start IVF. I'm supposed to stop all major physical activity in a couple days, so I'm ending it with one final trail run, a 30K trail run in Moab, and part of the Triple Crown series. So I feel really great, and I'm really proud of myself for doing this and setting this goal. And then now I'm going to put aside trail running for a little bit and focus on a successful IVF.